Welcome. Come on over to the Insight Timer app if you want to join us for the live interactive time together. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Hi, Siska, Victoria, Samantha, Glenn. So good to be together. Hi, Roberto. Hi, Stacy. Hi, Rita. Hi, Chochi. Hi, Gunila. Hi, Rudsel. Hi, Anami. Hi, Liz. Hi, everyone. Hi, Mary. Hello, guest. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Amy from Oakland, my old home. Hi, Jacqueline. Hi, Deanna. Hi, Linda. Oh, so nice to see everyone. Thanks for being here. How's our sound? Can you hear me clearly? Can you see me clearly? Hi, Natalie. Hi, Heika? Hiaka? A few different pronunciations possible there. I'm probably butchering it. Sorry. Hi, Victoria. Okay, great. Hi, Beverly. Hi, Katie. All right. Thank you. Cool. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. For anyone that I'm getting to meet for the first time, my name is Selena Layel. I'm a yoga and meditation instructor, a transformational coach, and an awakened life teacher. Excuse me, I'm going to make a sound here. Oh, yeah. Thank you for all being here and sharing in this space. Yes, happy full moon. Hi, Alyssa. Great to see you here. Who's feeling that full moon? Welcome, everyone. Hi, Judy. Hi, Nikki. Let's take a moment to arrive. You don't need to close your eyes or sit in a meditative posture. Just become aware of your breath. And if you're doing other things right now, maybe take a moment to just pause. Feel your breath, feel your body, and just be still. Pause on the typing, on needing to do something else, needing to adjust your position, fix your hair, your shirt. Just be still for a moment. Start to slow your breath down and deepen it. Inhabit your body. Bring your awareness into your body. And let's start to consciously relax the body. Slow, deep breaths, long exhalations. Feel the shoulders softening down. Allow there to be a space between the teeth. Feel your jaw relaxing. And if you wish, close the eyes. Move your awareness through your body, consciously relaxing areas of tension, especially in the solar plexus, the belly, the heart center. You might even feel like there's this sense of unwinding happening. Relax your hands, your fingers, your feet. And again, without changing anything, without needing to adjust your physical position, can you just sit with whatever feelings or thoughts are present without fighting them, without trying to get away from them, without trying to move on to the next thing? For these next few breaths, can you practice just being here with your experience? Even if it's uncomfortable, we could say there's nothing wrong with it. It's our judgment and our resistance that makes things wrong in our mind, and that's where so much of the suffering comes from. So can we just practice accepting, allowing ourselves to be just as we are? Let's take a slow, deep breath in together. Exhale through the mouth, let out some sound. Inhale. One more breath like this. Let that exhalation be long and slow and really let out some sound. If your eyes are closed, open the eyes. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for sharing that moment to just drop in a little together. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Warm welcome to anyone who's just joining. We are in our fourth of five. We're in our fourth session in our manifestation series. It's been so wonderful to be together. And if you're here for the first time, no issue. You're fully welcome to be here just as you are, even if you haven't joined for the previous sessions. So, manifestation, harnessing the power that we have, our innate power to create that which we are wanting. Pretty amazing stuff. Who's been enjoying our course so far? Oh, great, Carrie. Who's been enjoying accessing gratitude and maybe becoming aware of how powerful you really are in your ability to create your life? Drop an emoji. Let me know how you're feeling about our time together. Awesome. Awesome. I love being together, and I love being together in this body of work, this topic, because it's really fantastic when we start to realize how much power we have to create what we're wanting. We often feel like life is just happening to us and we're at the mercy of life. Yes. And these practices and these teachings really help us to see that we're powerful and we are creating our lives, just usually unconsciously. And something I always like to bring up in this series or in this topic. Oh, great. Welcome, Eleanor. Welcome. I'd like to bring up the spaciousness to be compassionate. I know many of us get caught thinking, oh, well, since I'm the creator, I must have created the chronic illness that I live with, and I must be a bad person. And we can get caught in these really kind of self-destructive ways of thinking and feeling if our mind goes down a certain path when it comes to this topic. So my invitation when we're here and really becoming aware of how powerful we are as creators is to be compassionate with ourselves. It's not to judge ourselves for what we think isn't going well or going right. it's an opportunity to move forward with conscious intention. And many of you have heard me share that, I have dear friends in my life who are deeply, deeply, deeply committed to seva, to selfless service, to their daily spiritual practice, decades of inner work to just be the powerful, conscious creator that they are. And they still navigate physical challenges or chronic illness. So it's not to say like, oh, if you're spiritual enough, you won't have any problems ever again. No, in this creation that we live inside of, challenges, they come and they go. They're part of our life experience. So let us meet ourselves with compassion while we explore this, is my invitation. A little side note, in case anyone leaves early, a couple of things. One, if you're new to our time together, again, warm welcome. I have many recordings here on the app. I have a 10-day course. We have a wonderful circle called Love Heals All. If you'd like to join our circle, it's an open space to just come as you are, to receive support, to offer goodness and love and kindness to others, to practice all of these different teachings that allow us to feel more empowered and enlivened and joyful and peaceful in our lives. So if you'd like to join us there, thanks, Julia. Love Heals All is the name of the circle. All right. So let's do our little recap. This is always fun because I don't plan the recap, and I just have to remind myself where we've been on this journey. So in our first session, we really touched on the power of our minds, the power of our focus, and how we are creating our lives through our thoughts and our focus, whether or not we're aware of it. We touched on a minimal understanding of a part of the brain called the reticular activating system, or the RAS, this part of the brain that acts as a filter and really deems what information to take into our conscious mind by what we believe to be true. So if I believe that the world is a terrible place, this part of the brain, it filters out how beautiful this world is because it doesn't align with my beliefs. And of course, the opposite works as well. If I believe the world is a beautiful place, it filters out the things that show me maybe that this isn't the most beautiful place because it's supporting my deeper values and my beliefs, what I have, through my thoughts and ways of being, have decided is important, or maybe not even decided consciously, but what I believe to be important. So that was our first session. Our second session, we really got into how we can use the awareness of not just how we think, but how we speak, and writing things down as a way to really align with that which we are wanting more, to bring it into our conscious minds, rather than just being aware of our thoughts and saying, okay, I should think differently if I want something different, to really start writing it down. When we speak about our lives, to be aware of how we're speaking about our lives, to let all of our behaviors be a reflection of what it is that we're wanting. In our last session, our third session, we got into gratitude. We've been touching on gratitude every session. We're going to go even more into gratitude today. But we really explored how gratitude is this way to uplift us and create more space for us to welcome that which we are wanting. We've been writing in our gratitude journals. We've been taking on the practice of writing down 3 to 10 things each day that we are grateful for. Could be anything. And then also 3 to 10 things each day that we're grateful for manifesting or creating in our lives. And that second part of the exercise that we've been writing, we really write as if it's already happened. So rather than, yeah, it would be great if I could manifest a partner, I am so grateful that I'm deeply in love with the most incredible partner and we live the most joyous, healthy, happy lives together. Yeah, we write it as if it's already happening. So we start to entrain the brain, and we also harness the power of emotion. And that's a little bit what we're going to get more into today. And we're really just going to kind of keep touching on what we've been exploring in each session, because today we are moving into the law of resonance. The law of resonance. I'm going to pause here for just a moment because I'd love to read this comment that Angie shared with us. It says, "Hi, Selena and everyone. I sat on the beach earlier with a fire and watched the moon rising over the sea, watching the stars, the planets. Grateful to be able to do this whenever I like. Grateful every day for everything." Beautiful. Beautiful. Awesome. That's it. What a beautiful example of how we can practice being grateful. And as a reminder, we touched on this last time, there are times when we are in such a rough place, when it feels so dark that it feels kind of impossible to tap into gratitude. First of all, that's okay. That's okay. We don't have to feel happy or grateful all of the time. Yet we can still use the practice of gratitude to shift what's happening inside. Maybe we can't fully feel the gratitude, but even shifting our thoughts to grateful thoughts when we are in those dark places can support us moving through them with a little more ease or grace, or at least help to continue train our minds and brains, even in those moments when we feel like we have nothing to give. Oh, yeah, of course. Of course, Surya. Thank you for being here. It's not always easy. Sometimes we experience a lot of pain, a lot of fear, a lot of feeling disconnected. It feels like things are wrong or bad or not the way they should be. And when we get caught in those places, it's very difficult to access gratitude. But it's okay. It's okay. And there are always shifts, aren't there? Many of you have heard the recording I have here on the app called "Everything Will Be Okay." I think that's what it's called. And it really speaks to that. When we go through painful or challenging times, there's this kind of narrative, this inner dialogue that happens, or just this monologue that says this is going to last for forever. It just feels like the pain will never end. It doesn't, we can't see a way out of it when we're in those places. But it does always change, doesn't it? Even if it only changes for a brief moment, we never have this one painful experience always. Things are always changing, shifting, evolving. So may we also remind ourselves of that. Beautiful. All right, so the law of resonance. First of all, many of us have heard of the law of attraction. This idea that if we think about something or if we put our attention on it, we're attracting it to us. It's kind of like we become a magnet pulling it towards us. The law of resonance, you could even say, is foundational. It comes even before the law of attraction. And in some ways, they could be considered the same thing also. These are just kind of words that the human mind puts on, this quantum nature of reality, which can only, really explain so much. So the law of resonance is this awareness that, again, and we've been speaking about this in our sessions as well, that everything in creation is vibrating. And there is a resonance between vibrations. I've never actually practiced this, but my understanding is you can take two tuning forks. You like ding, little tuning forks. And one person can stand on one side of the room and another person will stand on the other side. And each of the two people has one of the tuning forks. And the person on this end of the room can ding that tuning fork so that it's vibrating, right? We hear that sound, that humming sound that the tuning fork makes because of the vibration that's happening in the metal. We hear this humming, and all the way across the room, even though that second tuning fork hasn't been tapped so that it starts vibrating as well, it will pick up the vibration from all the way across the room, and it will start vibrating and humming as well. Think about that. One thing is creating vibration, and the other picks up on that vibration and starts to match the vibration. We are all tuning forks. And we are all able to influence each other's vibrational state. It doesn't mean that we always will, but it's possible. And that, of course, means that our vibrational state can also be influenced. I'd like to share a personal experience of this because I was thinking about it before we came together, and I was thinking about the law of resonance and how, we influence each other. And before I share my experience, maybe I'll just offer a couple of awarenesses for each of us. I invite you to think of somebody that you get around them, you spend time with this person, or maybe you just kind of are in the vicinity with them at work or something, and they're always in a bad mood. They're always complaining. They're always, feeling really bad or sad or something, that is in that kind of vibration. And you notice that when you spend time with this person, maybe you don't notice it in the moments of being with them, but afterwards, you might really notice that you kind of feel sad or upset, or maybe you're feeling a sense of judgment or something. We all probably can relate to that experience. And drained. Yeah, exactly. And on the flip side of things, there are certain people that we spend time with them and we just feel ignited. We feel enlivened. We feel like there's passion awakened in us, or love or tenderness or joy. We spend time with that person and it can totally shift us. Maybe we're in a really rough space inside, maybe feeling upset about something, and just being in that person's physical presence, all of a sudden we feel a little warmer or a little happier or a little lighter inside. We can all probably think of someone like that in our lives. This is the law of resonance. And the most profound example of this for me, which some of you may be able to relate to with someone in your life, is with my beloved teacher, Saima. Now, many of you, let me just reach here. Many of you are aware that I've been studying with my beloved teacher for 20 years, Her Holiness Saima Lakshmi Devi. And just for clarification, in case anyone's wondering or has ever wondered this, all of the teachings with Ma are about self-mastery and love. Ma's always said, I'm not here for followers. I'm here to awaken the masters that each of us are. And the teachings are really rooted in love and compassion and joy and service to one another and the planet. And just, it's not religious. Many people from all different religions come to spend time together in this space. And it's an open space for anyone, to anyone, if you've ever been curious about who Saima is or what it's like to be around Saima. So I'll share a little story. Some of you have heard me share this story. I grew up in a very loving household, totally dysfunctional in its own right, as all of our families are. But there was a lot of love and a lot of affection and a lot of expression of love, saying, I love you, physical, love and affection, things like this. And, I feel very fortunate to have grown up in a family where love was expressed in such a way. And I remember when I was 18, and I grew up in a very spiritual household as well, very spiritual. I started meditating when I was 5. So I was very spiritual and also a total wild child. I mean, pretty wild. So anyway, I was 18. I wasn't living at the house anymore. I was in one of my wildest, most physically self-destructive phases that I had been in, just partying constantly, still meditating twice a day, but a lot of other stuff was happening. And my mom said, for my birthday, I want to pay for you to come on a weekend workshop with this female saint that is traveling through town, that is coming to visit the area. You can get an idea of who my mother is. I want to pay for you. For my birthday present, I want to give you money so that you can come and experience the grace of this beautiful teacher. So of course I said yes. And I was on this weekend workshop, and in all truth, I don't remember the whole weekend. I don't remember most of it. I remember a few key moments. It was the first time I met Saima. And there was a point, probably towards the end of the weekend experience, where the Saima was singing to us this very loving song that I've sung to some of you before. And I remember all of a sudden these tears were just streaming down my face. Oh, I feel it in my heart right now. Just tears streaming down my face. And I felt something in my heart that I had maybe never felt before in this life. Even though I grew up in such a loving family, and I'm so blessed, and grew up with all of this affection and love around me, being in the presence of Saima opened my heart in a way that I didn't know I was looking for or missing. And it was my heart. It's not like Ma put something in me. My heart blossomed. And that for me is the most profound example of the law of resonance. And this is why so many people have teachers or masters or gurus or spend time with these types of people in their lives, because there's the law of resonance. The reason I've been studying with Ma all of these years, there are many reasons I've been studying with Sai Ma all of these years, but one of the main reasons is because whenever I am in the physical presence of Sai Ma, or not even the physical presence, just the energetic presence, like in a forum like this where we're across the planet from each other, something happens inside of me where I start to align with the highest version of myself. Something starts to happen inside of me where I move into an experience of love, of peace, of forgiveness, of vulnerability. My vibration moves into alignment with that powerful presence of love that Ma is, because it's who each of us are. But most of us don't realize that, and we live in a different vibrational frequency. So for me, again, this is the most profound example of the law of resonance. I go to be with Sai Ma, I feel closed, and I'm talking about after years of studying with Ma. I go on a retreat with Ma, maybe one of the retreats that we used to have before the pandemic. And maybe my heart was feeling a little closed, and I was feeling a lot of stress. And maybe I was feeling worried about this thing and stressed about this thing and concerned about this thing. And then I go and I'm in the presence of Sai Ma. And by the end of the 2-day or 3-day experience, I feel like a transformed human being. And it's not because Sai Ma has put something in me. It's that my vibration started to resonate and shift to the frequency that Sai Ma is in. It's my natural state that I shift into. It's kind of like our own alchemy. As the powerful beings that we are, we have this ability to move into the alchemy, the transmutation of emotion, of thought, of vibration, of beingness into the highest versions of ourselves. Thanks. Thanks, Julia. So, the law of resonance is the awareness that everything is vibrating. Again, we've spoken about this so many times. Science has proven that everything in creation is vibrating. You think about the radio waves, you think about Wi-Fi waves, the ability for us to be here from all around the world, looking into a screen, and we're somehow connected. We don't see these vibrations, but they exist. And everything, all of matter is vibrating. Every part of our physical body is vibrating. Our thoughts vibrate. Our emotions have a vibration. All of these very subtle things that we don't think of as tangible have a vibration. And how we spend our time in our lives impacts our vibration. In my belief system, in my opinion, there's no good or bad vibration. It's like a spectrum. It's like a spectrum. You could say low vibration is here, high vibration is here on this spectrum. It's not that one is good or bad, it's just different. There's a different quality of experience depending on where we're vibrating. And when we look at the frequency of emotions or thoughts, emotions that are like shame or fear or jealousy or resentment, these are all lower vibrations. They're more dense, they're slower, they're, it's like almost like they're thicker, right? They're slower moving, more dense vibrations. Higher vibrations are like joy or gratitude. And again, as much as we want to be in this space because it's more pleasant, right? We judge these emotions as more pleasant, happy, peaceful, free. I want to be here because it's pleasant. It's still not necessarily good or bad. It's just a judgment of experience. So how we spend our time, how we think, how we feel, what we put our attention on, determines where we are on this spectrum of vibration. I'm going to pause for just a moment. You feeling me here? Is this making sense? I know we've been speaking about this in these previous sessions, and some of you are very familiar with this already, so it's nothing new, but just checking in. Do you have any questions? I like that, Siska, yeah. And again, the chat always moves slower for me, meaning I don't get your comments when they come in real time. There's a little bit of a lag. All right, well, we're just going to keep moving on. If a question pops up, I'll look over at the chat. And oh yeah, totally. Ganila's sharing, hard not to judge. Absolutely. And we're not here to make ourselves stop judging. Oh man, I remember in the very beginning days of studying with Ma, I was like crying. I was just like, oh Ma, like I wasn't speaking to Ma. I was like in my own mind. I was like, please take away this judgmental mind. Let me be free of how judgmental this mind is. And here 20 years later, I'm still judging. The judging is very different and it's much less, but it's still there. And there is a difference between judgment and discernment, but that's for another day. Absolutely. We don't need to judge ourselves for judging. That's just one of those loops that's, impossible. Yeah, Bella, come back and be with us. Bo, that's a great question. I know we can choose our thoughts, but can we choose our emotions? I would say that we can have conscious intent, and we're going to get into that in just a moment here. Yeah, Amy is sharing. I find it easy to be in my best heart-centered space here at work with certain family, more challenging. Exactly. So, and that's natural. That's natural. That's why we need communities like this. And that's why I love our circle, Love Heals All, because it's a space to kind of reconnect with these parts of ourselves. It's like where our tuning fork can come more into alignment. We can come more into that alignment of our most full, enriched, clear selves. Okay, so coming back, Anami, I'm going to come back to that in just a second. Actually, maybe I'll read it because I just started. So, I think what I'm hearing you saying that, my love, is that you're wondering how we can focus more on what it is that we're wanting rather than what we don't want. And what I'm hearing you say is how do we focus on what it is that we want rather than what we don't want if we're not aware of it yet? Because this is a big part of any transformation. I know many of you have heard this in other places. Many of you have heard me speak on this so many times, that awareness is the first step to transforming something. Awareness is that first step to transmutation, because without awareness, We keep living in the same behaviors, the same ways of thinking or feeling or focusing. So we first need to become aware. And once we're aware, we have that opportunity to consciously shift. And it doesn't mean that we just automatically shift out of it. We may need to really utilize our tools and different practices, but awareness is really, really the first thing. Okay, awesome questions coming in, but to not get off topic, I'm just going to move on a little bit here. Stephanie, if I don't naturally get into your question, please drop it in the chat again, and we can address it. Thanks everyone for sharing in your questions. All right, let's take a moment just to take a breath together. Let's take a deep breath in. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale. Exhale. One more breath like this. Inhale. Exhale. So, the law of resonance. We are already aware of how being around certain people or being around people, period, can impact how we feel, right? If someone is really, really feeling sad and we're not in alignment in ourselves, we might start to align with that frequency of sadness. And before we know it, we feel really sad and heavy as well. And of course, again, it can work the opposite way as well. Other than just being around people, we have the ability to influence our vibration constantly. Many of us don't really think about it like this, but what you read impacts your vibration. If you're reading about all of the horrors in the world, or you're reading books that, whether they're fantasy or nonfiction, if you're reading something that makes you feel like the world's a terrible place, or makes you feel angry or sad or jealous, if you're reading those kind of things, if you're watching shows or movies that are really intense or really violent or really scary, what we feed our minds impacts our vibration. And again, it's not here to judge as good or bad. I'm not saying like, oh, if you're not only watching Hallmark movies, for anyone who's unfamiliar with that, they're like the really happy, kind of like sweet, like movies, nothing wrong with that. You see my judgment there? I have a little judgment about Hallmark movies. Ain't no shame. Anyway, it's not for us to judge ourselves if we do those kind of things. I am totally entertained by watching scary things and tense things, and yeah, anyway, I won't even go into that. I'm not going to throw myself under the bus like that, but I totally enjoy watching those things that cause me to feel that way. And those things are impacting my vibration. And let's say, for example, actually, I'll give a couple more examples, and then I'll go on there with the example. The music we listen to impacts our vibration. We don't usually think about that either. What we're feeding ourselves in all ways, mentally, emotionally, physically, impacts our vibration. Now, let's say you're like, I just need to get my fix of that, crime series that I love to watch. It just brings me a lot of joy. And you watch it and you get like, all intense, and like you're feeling all, worried and angry, and you want revenge for the person who had the harm done to them, right? You feel all those emotions, you enjoy yourself, and then you move on, and maybe you're focused on gratitude. Maybe you have a spiritual practice. Maybe you go spend time in nature. Maybe you do things that you love. It's like your vibration can come back into a frequency where you naturally feel more free, more at peace, more loving. But most of us don't do that. Most of us have habits, and you could even say unconscious addictions to certain vibrations. Now, I know the word addiction might seem a little strong, but it almost is like that. It's like we are so accustomed to feeling angry, for example, that we're naturally drawn to watching really violent kind of angry movies. And we like, we just, even if we tell ourselves not to, maybe we find ourselves reading the news and just getting angry at the world and the human beings and all the things. Those can become emotional patterns in the brain. And then we kind of get hooked into them. We start to even seek them out. So we become kind of hooked into a certain vibration, not even realizing it. We keep feeding ourselves in that lower vibration that kind of keeps us in that place. And then, because of the law of resonance, coming back to that tuning fork, the people that we are most resonant with, that we find ourselves drawn to, even if we don't realize it, are often people in the same vibration. And that's also where we get into a little bit of the law of attraction also, yes. But it's the law of resonance. Now, most of us don't realize that we do this. We don't realize that we're kind of hooked into these patterns and behaviors that keep us in a certain resonance. Give me a something if you kind of feel this, if you can kind of see this in your own life. And again, this isn't for us to judge. It's not for us to beat ourselves up or say, "Oh, I'm a bad person because because I always watch The Walking Dead." All right, I said it. I said it. I go through phases. Yeah, and it's difficult to acknowledge. It's really difficult to acknowledge because we usually want to blame somebody else or something else. But these are kind of the patterns in us. And the patterns in us are what are recreating the same experiences. And again, that's not for us to beat ourselves up about. It's just awareness. If we're not aware of something, we don't have that agency to know our own power to choose something else. So although it can be painful or uncomfortable to look at, this is where we start to take back our power when we consider these things. Now, just to say something here, I think I'm very dedicated to my spiritual path. It is my life. It is the focal point in my life. And I still think it's important to be aware of what's happening in the world. I don't inundate myself with the news. I don't read it every single day. But I know some of us, we're so sensitive that we feel like we just want to turn the world off and just kind of like hide in our meditation cave. And to each their own. I feel it's important for us to be aware of what's happening in the world to some degree. Because think about it this way, my friends who identify as being very empathetic or identify as being very sensitive, even if you're not reading the news or engaging with what's happening in the world, you know, as a sensitive being, you are still feeling what's happening in the world. You're still probably moving some of those emotions and energy through your physicality. So being aware of what's happening in the world gives us an opportunity to have to be able to support each other, to make positive change, to create more of the world that we're wanting. Again, my thoughts are just here for you to consider. I'm not saying there's a right way or a wrong way. However you choose to live your life is your choice. And I honor that. And not that you need me to honor that, but just to make sure it's clear. So what I'd like to move into, and then we're going to move into a brief practice, is the awareness of how the law of resonance really plays a role in manifesting. I was thinking about this earlier. I was like, all right, how does me being in joy help me manifest a house? I was like, come on now. Can you break this down for me? Because I don't get it here. How is, being in the energy of gratitude going to bring me something that I'm wanting in my life? Like, my intellect just couldn't fully understand it. How does something material or a person manifest in my life because I'm activating high vibrational frequencies inside of me? How does that work? And this is how I think it works. Many of you have experienced this practice with me. We have a meditation here, a recording called Feeling Good, Shift Your Emotional State. And it's a practice where we start to consider that even though we think we are wanting a new job, we think we want a new car, we think we want to meet our soulmate, we think we want more money, even though all of these things would be great to have, they're not actually what we want. What we want is what we think these things will make us feel. If I told you that having $1 million would make you feel miserable and you wouldn't enjoy your life and everything would be terrible, do you think you would still want it? Okay, maybe that's a bad example because some of you are going to say yes. If I told you that meeting your soulmate would be the worst thing you could ever possibly imagine and you would feel lonely and miserable and wish you had never met your soulmate, do you think you would still want your soulmate? Most of us are going to say no. What we really want is not the thing or the person. We want what we think it's going to make us feel. We think that having that new home is going to make us feel joyful, elated, fulfilled, safe, relaxed, calm. We think meeting our soulmate and being with that person will allow us to feel love and passion and have a juicy sex life and enjoy all of these things that come with a beautiful relationship. We want that new car because we think we'll get to feel free and empowered or rich or whatever it is. All of these things that we want, yes, they'd be great to have, but what we're really after is how we think it will make us feel. So this is how, somebody is dropping something in the chat and it's so long. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get to it, but I'm going to go back in the replay and I'm going to read it later. This is how the law of resonance works. If I am thinking, I want to meet my soulmate, I'm going to meet my soulmate, I'm going to meet my soulmate, but inside I say to myself, I'm not really worthy. And I feel inside, I'm not beautiful enough. I'm not successful enough. They're going to leave me. If those are the emotions that I'm in, if I'm saying to myself, I can't wait to meet my soulmate, but inside I have all of the emotions I just shared, what vibration am I in, my friends? Just drop a word or two. What vibration am I in? If I'm saying I'm manifesting the relationship of my dreams come true, but I'm in these emotions of not being good enough and skepticism and worry, am I in a vibration that is going to attract? Well, first of all, let me break this down a little more. If I think about this ultimate soulmate relationship, and just to be clear, I believe that there are many soulmates in the world, but I believe that you are your ultimate soulmate. You are already whole. You are already complete. No one is going to make you complete. You can drop that. You have everything you need to feel all of the love of creation inside of you. And yes, meeting someone in your reality who's the ultimate reflection of love would be a dream come true, but you have everything inside of you. You are whole and magnificent just as you are. So, coming back to this idea of the wanting of a soulmate, what do you think you're really wanting? If you say, I really want a soulmate, what are we really wanting? We're probably wanting to feel love. We're probably wanting to feel passion. We're probably wanting to feel total acceptance, unconditional love, right? We want to feel a sense of wholeness. And these vibrations, let's come back to this idea of this spectrum. Remember, lower vibrations, not bad. Lower vibrations are things like shame, fear, unworthiness, guilt, right? Higher vibrations, joy, love, compassion, gratitude, right? On this spectrum, if I'm wanting that soulmate relationship, I'm probably wanting all of the higher vibrational emotions, right? All of those good feelings we just spoke about. So if this is what I'm wanting, I need to be vibrating here, right? Is this making sense? If this is the spectrum, right, you can kind of imagine like a gauge, right? That's what I'm trying to show you here. There's like a little gauge, and over here it shows lower, and then you move on the spectrum, and this is where it gets into higher. If I'm wanting to feel all of those wonderful qualities that I think a soulmate's going to bring to my life, don't I need to be vibrating in these energies? Don't I need to be vibrating in the frequencies similar to what is over here on this spectrum? Yeah. And this can go for anything, right? Maybe this soulmate example doesn't resonate for you, but you want a new job, or you want more money, or you want better health, whatever it is. You need to be in this part of the gauge, in this part of the spectrum, resonating, vibrating in alignment with that which you are wanting. But the thing is, most of us say things like, I really want this thing, but we're living over here on this end of the spectrum where we're living in energies of, yeah, but it probably won't work out, so I shouldn't get my hopes up. Yeah, maybe it'll work and it'll be nice, but they'll probably leave me eventually because everyone does. Yeah, it'd be great to have this new job, but good things don't last. You see what I'm saying here? There's a conflict inside of us. So we are not in alignment with the vibration that is the resonance, like those two tuning forks, that is going to bring us into alignment with that which we are wanting. Okay, just give me a thumbs up if this is making sense. Thumbs up if this is making sense. Got the little lag time. Okay. I think, Gabriella, you might be saying you're having resistance to this, or maybe you're saying resistance is one of the energies. If anyone's feeling resistance or not totally getting it, it's okay. Just take in what resonates for you today. Take in what you understand today. No issue. Okay. Thanks, friends. So we need to start attuning our vibration, like the tuning forks, to the energies that we are wanting to experience. And again, a way for you to kind of get an idea of what energies you need to be inside of, think about what you would get to feel in your mind if you had that thing you were wanting. And it's probably emotions like freedom, love, peace, joy, gratitude, fulfillment, passion, compassion. Yes? And these are all higher vibrational energies. So one of the ways that we can start, and one other thing I'd like to say here, let's just take a breath together. And just be with your body for a moment, be with your heart, be with your mind. Just be with whatever is happening inside of you. So many of us live with these conflicting thoughts and beliefs inside. And that's okay that it's been that way. See, most of us live inside of the space of I have to do this, this, and this, and then I'll get to my goal. Oh, I have to, get this new job and then get a raise and then get another promotion, and then I'll have the money that I want. I have to become more fit and more beautiful and more spiritual, and then I'll attract my soulmate. Our minds have this idea that things work in a linear fashion, and most things do not work in a linear fashion, especially when it comes to this power of creation. It's not linear, my friends. It doesn't go steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, bing, 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 you get to your goal. It doesn't necessarily work that way. Although, of course, some things do in our physical world. It doesn't necessarily work that way when it comes to our creation. So if there's anything you take from this entire series, I invite you to consider that if you bring yourself into the vibrational state of that which you are wanting, you are going to be a resonance for that which you are wanting. You are going to align naturally with what you are wanting. And therefore, it comes to fruition in your life, even if you don't know what steps to take. And we spoke about this in our first and second session as well, when we spoke about the reticular activating system in the brain. We don't have to know every step. If we are feeding our minds and feeding our physiologies with the emotions that resonate with what we're wanting and the thoughts and the visualization of what it is that we're wanting, our brain actually helps to create it as a reality. And this also aligns when we speak about vibration. What if the only thing you chose to focus on was getting your vibration into the alignment of what it is you're wanting? What if that was the only homework you ever did? You would probably see so many things come to fruition in your life and just be pleasantly surprised often. So, I know we're almost at time. So for anyone who needs to go, I love you. Thank you. We have our circle, Love Heals All. Fantastic place to continue this conversation, to feel supported, to uplift others. Love Heals All. Come be with us there. So, in this law of resonance, we bring our vibrational state into harmony with that which we are wanting. So again, we'll just do a little practice right now. I invite you, the circle, Bernard, is here on the app. So if you just go into the search engine and look up Love Heals All, or there's actually a place at the bottom of the app where you see a little circle icon, click on that, and you can actually search for the circle. So gratitude, again, is one of the most effective ways to align our vibration as a daily practice. And what I'd really say, for me personally, and I know for many, the most powerful practice I have in my life to constantly bring my vibration into alignment is my daily meditation practice, my daily spiritual practices. If you are wondering how to get yourself more aligned with the vibrations of what you're wanting, start a daily practice. Maybe for you, the idea of source or souls or energy or anything is just like too much, and you're like, I don't resonate with any of that. So you just find a mindfulness practice. Spend time every day coming into this place of alignment in yourself. If you have any sense of connection to source or your religion or spirituality, commune in whatever way you do on a daily basis. Use your spiritual practices to uplift your vibration. Now, I know when we're in those dark places, when we feel lost, afraid, hopeless, depressed, anxious, like everything's going wrong, it's really difficult to have the willpower or even the thought sometimes to use our daily practices. But this is the time that we need them more than ever. So create a habit in your life, if you don't already have it, of engaging in your practices every day. They uplift our vibration. The more we meditate, the more we come home to our sacred self or connect with source, God, creator, great spirit. The more we connect in, the more we are aligning our vibration regularly with our highest. And the easier it is for us to resonate in those higher vibrational energies. If I get really in a rough spot, I fortunately, my meditation practice is so ingrained that I don't think I really ever go more than a day or two. And even then, I'm usually saying mantras and different things all day long in my mind. Habit. I'm not lucky. That's habit and a lot of discipline. That's well worth it, I promise. But, if I'm in a really rough spot and I miss my practice for a couple of days, it's easier to just spiral even more, So catch the upward spiral rather than the downward spiral by having a regular practice in your life. Maybe it's meditation, maybe it's chanting, maybe it's breath work. And speaking of which, pranayama or different breath practices are one of the, I've said this a few times now about one of the most effective ways to shift your vibration, but truly, if you're looking for a quick fix to shift your vibration into a higher frequency, remember, not good, just a higher frequency, love, joy, peace, harmony, freedom, use your breath. Find a pranayama practice that resonates for you. Kapalabhati, Bastrika, even simpler practices, Analoma Viloma, Nadi Shodhana. You can use your breath, and it doesn't have to have a Sanskrit name. Use your breath powerfully, consciously, as a way to shift your vibration. It works every time, even when we're really resistant and we just want to stay in that darkness or in that muck because we're just stuck there. The breath can start to pull us out. So use your breath, have a daily practice, and gratitude. So we've been practicing gratitude every time we've been together in this session. We're going to close out today with a brief gratitude exercise. Beautiful, Angie. Beautiful. It really makes a difference. Angie's sharing that also she hasn't barely lifted more than a day or two in 18 years. And it really makes a huge difference. It doesn't mean it's easy. It doesn't mean that, you should be able to do it. But the more that you kind of train yourself, because again, you are the one who has all the power, the more you'll notice a shift in your experience. So let's close the eyes. We're going to move into a brief gratitude experience as a way to practice shifting our vibration before we complete today. Thank you all so much for being here and for sticking it out in this long time today. I know we have these longer sessions always. I adore being together like this. I look forward to when we can be together in person or just have small group opportunities to connect and actually get to see your faces. I love feeling your presence. I love reading your chats, and I just adore you and look forward to just continuing to share more and more and more together. And thank you so much for your donations, friends. I know they don't always show up. I'm so grateful for your support, and I'm so grateful for your supporting Insight Timer as well. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, we're going to move into a brief experience. I invite you to close the eyes. I think I said that already, so close them again if you've opened them. And start to breathe deeply. Become aware of something that you're wanting. Something that you're wanting. It could be a beautiful relationship, greater health, maybe a regular workout routine, more friends, more money, a new job. Think about one thing. Just one. And now start to become aware of what it is that you're really wanting. You might think that you're wanting this experience or this material item, but what is it that you think this thing will make you feel? If you had this in your life, how would you get to feel? More joyful, free, peaceful, confident? Start to see that what you're really wanting is these feelings. And of course, you may want the thing as well, but the desire is for these feelings inside. So start to remember a time in your life that you can feel truly grateful for. I know some of our memories, we have a mix of emotions. So think of a time that you feel just gratitude and some of these good feelings. Maybe it was a time that you felt a lot of joy or a lot of freedom or a lot of peace. Remember a time in your life when you felt this way. And remember the details of feeling this way, even if it was a long time ago. What was happening around you? Who were you with? What could you smell, see, taste, touch? Feel, remember how good you felt in this moment. Feel it now as if it's happening. And if your mind is drifting to those habitual thoughts of doubt and this can't happen or this is silly, take a breath and just come back. And now shift your awareness. Who is someone in your life that you feel truly grateful for? Why do you feel grateful for this person? Do they make you feel loved, happy, safe? Do they make you laugh? Think of another person in your life who you feel deeply grateful for, and think of all the reasons why you feel gratitude. Maybe why you love this person. Take a deep breath, open your chest, roll your shoulders up and back. Feel yourself more receptive. What is something else you're grateful for in your life? Truly grateful for? Could be anything, anyone. Feel the space of your heart softening with this gratitude. Opening. Think of something beautiful or miraculous that happened in your life that has brought you great joy or great peace, or maybe brought someone into your life that you cherish deeply. Maybe a moment in time that you would consider synchronistic or coincidence. And feel that gratitude. Breathe. And now allow your mind to relax and open and just think of anything and anyone that you feel grateful for. grateful thought and feeling after grateful thought and feeling. You may even wish to take this great practice and imagine that you're reaching out for that thought and bringing it into your heart. Physically bring it into your heart and pull that gratitude into your heart. And then think of another thought, reach for that thought and pull that thought into your heart. And you can just do this over and over again as fast as you like. Grateful thought, bring it into your heart. Another grateful thought, bring it into your heart. Feel it moving into your heart. And breathe. And now just open your arms wide. Feel yourself receptive. Sit tall. Relax your jaw and your face. Breathe deeply. Welcome your own beloved self in this moment. Welcome every part of you. The parts you like, the parts you don't like. Just welcome the fullness of you. And bring all of that into your heart. And feel this ocean of gratitude for life. Breathe. Open yourself even more. Let's take a deep breath. And notice your state. Notice the state you are in right now. Notice if it feels different from where you were before, even just the beginning of our session. And recognize that this is a shift of vibration. And if you only chose to consciously shift your vibration on a daily basis, you would give yourself a direct path to experiencing and truly living more of the life that you're wishing to live. Let's slowly open the eyes. This doesn't mean that we won't ever dip down into the lower vibrational experiences. It just means to have practices on a daily basis to bring us back into alignment with the vibration of what we're wanting. It's okay to feel those lower vibrational emotions. It's okay to process how you need to. Be committed to your conscious vibrational transmutation, your conscious alchemy on a daily basis. And you'll dip and you'll come back up, and you'll dip and you'll come back up. And that's okay. The more you practice aligning yourself with the vibration of what you really want, the easier it is to pop up out of those dark places. Generally. There are some times when we go through a big shift or a big release of some of that old caca that we've been hanging on to, and it can feel very dark. But we will always come out of it. Always. Just stay true to yourself and stay true to your practices. Thank you. Thank you for your love. I'm looking forward to going back and reading many of your comments in the replay. Unfortunately, the replay is not available here on the app, but join our circle. Join our circle. Sometimes there are ways to watch it. So join our circle and we can share that with you there. Love heals all. Love heals all is the name of the circle. Thank you. I love you. And thank you again for your donations. I'm so grateful for your support. So grateful. So, that's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. I think there was a share that I want to just touch on really briefly, and then we'll come to a close. Let's see if I can get back to it. Yeah, Anami is sharing that at first, thinking of someone she was grateful for, she was feeling uplifted, and then she shifted. Maybe you started to think about someone you feel hurt by or upset with, and you kind of got caught in that. That's okay. Sometimes when we get caught in those thoughts, sometimes we need to just practice taking ourselves out of them, because for most of us, we don't think consciously. Our minds are thinking us. We're not thinking for our minds. So sometimes it's just the habit of consciously choosing, almost like imagine like taking your own head and be like, no, go look over here. So sometimes it's just that practice of like consciously choosing that shift in our awareness. And sometimes it might be because we need to address that situation. Maybe we've been repressing certain thoughts or feelings where we need to forgive or let go or just let ourselves grieve, so sometimes those things are there, and that's okay. And it doesn't mean you can't still practice having grateful thoughts, even if you need to tend to some other healing. Yeah, and again, thank you for bringing that up, because it's natural. Yeah, Siska's bringing up a great little energetic practice we have. If you have a thought that you'd rather not have, it doesn't really apply to this in the same way. But if you have a thought and knowing that everything is energy, if you have a thought and you don't want that energy to be going out, you say, cancel, 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 cancel. It's like nips the energy. So some believe, I believe it. All right, my friends, thank you so much for everything. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Come join us in the circle. We'll be together there, continuing to support one another. I'll see you again. I keep forgetting. Today's Monday. I kept thinking today was Friday. I almost said to you all, have a great weekend. So we'll be together again tomorrow for our vinyasa practice, I believe, is happening tomorrow. You can always check my profile here on the app to see what the live schedule is. And I think that is it. Feel free to reach out to me in the DM if you have a question I did not get to today. And as a reminder, the way that the direct messages work here, you need to have your settings set up so that you can receive messages. So you need to make sure that you can receive messages, and you also need to be friends with the person now on the app to exchange messages. So it becomes a little bit more of a process. But if you'd like to send me a message, please feel free to do so. And if you would like me to respond, please make sure your settings allow that to happen. Thank you. Love you, friends. Thank you for your time and your presence. See you next Monday for our final session in this series. Looking forward to it.